Hello and good day, fellow educators. God is good all the time. Welcome to the pre-webinar of Asia Pacific Association Educators Training Institute. Before I start, I would like to thank Dr. Raquel for giving me this opportunity to share this material. I am Mr. VIVENCIO M. DOBLADA JR, presently teaching at Tanusa National High School from DepEd Rizal, an APA-IT member affiliate. So I want to remind everyone that only those registered participants in real time are only qualified to receive the certificate. And please subscribe to APA-IT YouTube channel and share and like the FB page. So are you ready? So let us start. With this webinar, I will be sharing the localized and contextualized video materials in the new normal, which is essential in the present educational system. Finding ways to remedy the modalities that we will be using in teaching is the challenge for every teacher. We have different learning modalities option like online class, modular distance learning, homeschooling, and TV and radio broadcasting. With all of this, we are still thinking of what to use under that different mode. I think with this new normal in education, using video is one of the strategies that we can adapt and use to our learners. There's a lot of mode that we can use to create video. There are free apps that are available in the internet. Even the PowerPoint presentation can be converted to video. We just add narration to the PowerPoint to make it a feeling. One thing to consider when creating a video is the ability of the teachers to be creative so that the video will be catchy to the learners and motivate them. So that the video will be informative to the learners and give a lot of information. And the video will give understanding to the learners because it is aligned to the depth and most essential learning competency. With this session, two words are important to understand that are localized and contextualized. Let us try to know what are those two words. What is localized teaching? According to Taylor, localization freedom for school or local authorities is to adapt the curriculum to local conditions and relating the context of the curriculum and the process of teaching and learning to the local environment. It was supported by the UNESCO. According to them, localization will involve the use of local materials both as the subject and object of instruction. Localization will also involve making the local culture an integral part of the curriculum. See how important localizing materials and teaching and learning process. So what is present and available to the local must be used as part of the materials that we will be preparing. Remember that when the learners feel that they are part of the materials, then it is a sign that they can relate to the lesson being taught. How about contextualized teaching? According to Spring, contextualized teaching means to teach in connection with real life and within the culture of the learners. This means that the materials that we need to use is within the reach of the learner. Being particular with a certain materials will help the learners to understand what we wanted to emphasize. As cited by Ferrin, contextualized teaching is an instructional strategy concentrating on presenting the lesson directly on concrete applications in a specific context to appeal to the interest of the student. When we think of what to use, we always think of the learners because we are doing this because of them. It should also be within the context that they are particular, especially when it comes to application. Hence, the standard of the materials must be based on the learner's interest so that it will be appealing to the learners. A while ago, I have mentioned about being creative when doing a video. Hence, there are things to consider when creating video materials. First is the concept. There must be a concept or storyline. What is concept? It is the idea of something conceived in mind, and that is what we call a concept. When there is a storyline on the materials, then the learners will enjoy and at the same time will learn on the video materials. Think of the teleseries, movies, Korean novellas that they are watching. There are always sense of surprise, and that's the reason why they are watching it. Hence, with the material that we will be preparing, it will be exciting when there is a concept. It will be exciting when there is a story. Hence, when we have the concept, we have to work on also with the sequence. A sequence is an arrangement of order set of related things or ideas. Sequencing is important. If there is a story, if there is a concept, then we can now have a video lecture where they can still feel that they are inside the classroom, where student participation are still part of the material. So see to it that part of the materials are students' activity. The next one is the sound recording. So when we talk of sound recording, so this is the ability on creating a sound. So when we talk of that, it is important that it must be loud and clear enough. The next one is be creative, especially in video editing. Creative, it is the ability or power to create. Remember that a video is a combination of text, motion, features, audio, and more. Putting them together in a creative way will result to video materials that are educational. So be creative when doing and editing. The last one is engaging. Engaging, it is something interesting, pleasant, and entertaining. When the video is engaging, it will grab the learner's attention and it will provide the value to the lesson content. So make it a point that it is in our competency. Once the learners are interested in the content, they will be ready to learn and be participative to the activity that is in the video. So let us watch an example of localized and contextualized video materials that is divided into different parts of our daily learning log or daily lesson plan, which is the sequence of the video materials. By the way, the video materials is originally made for our student in Anasan National High School. The characters, culture, and the way it was presented is within the context of the people in our place. So, let us watch the video.
Meron kayong video na tungkol sa real life situation na ginagamitan ng lesson sa math? At sa tingin mo?
Oo nga. Gusto ko nga makapanood eh.
Mukhang maganda yon.
Pero saglit, ito sa vlog na to alam ko meron. Wait, search ko. Ito, nakita ko na.
Hello guys! Narito na naman tayo upang magkaroon ng bagong kaalaman at matuto dito sa aming channel, ang Math to Class.
At kung bago lang kayo dito sa aming channel, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at pindutin ang bell para like yung updates sa mga video namin.
Para sa vlog na ito, ipapasyal namin kayo dito sa Isla ng Talim, partikular sa Barangay Bangad
At Barangay Buhangin. Bukod sa ipapasyal namin kayo, ipapakita din namin sa inyo ang iba't ibang uri ng pangkabuhayan dito. So, handa na ba kayo? Ito, panoorin nyo. Nakita niyo na ang iba't ibang uri ng pangkabuhayan dito sa Islang Talim. Tulad ng pag-iistik, pamamasada, paggawa ng kaing, paggawa ng set, at ang pinaka-particular na pangkabuhayan ay ang pagbebenta ng isda.
At kung nabitin kayo, huwag kayo mag-alala. Dahil mamaya, pupuntahan namin ang mga taong nasa likod ng trabahong ito.
Pero teka, naalala mo ba ang mga latang nakita mo sa video kanina?
Oo,
Kayo, naalala niyo ba ang mga latang nakita niyo sa video kanina? Tulad nito.
ang mga letrang ito ang bubuo sa mga salita na magsisilbing lesson para sa vlog na ito.
Diba? Bagong kaalaman,
bagong matututuan.
At ngayon, bibigyan namin kayo ng 5 segundo para buuin ang mga jumble letters na ito. 5 segundo nyo ay magsisimula na.
Ganito ba ang sagot niyo?
Tama kayo! At ito ang magiging lesson natin para sa vlog na ito. Ang Generalization!
Okay, that's all about the presentation of the introduction and motivation part. We all know that with our learning log or lesson plan, we always started with the motivation, and adapting that in the video is possible. Let us see what are the content of the material. First is the concept or the story. It is about 2 students talking about the real life situation on math subject and ending up watching the bloggers to answer their problem. Second is game, the jumbled letters game. With our daily activity in class, we always integrated game to get the maximum participation of the learners. So even in a video material, we can still put game. Just make it sure that we have procedures about how the game will be played. Timer is possible way to make it entertaining and realistic. Third is informative. The video is very informative the way it is presented with the information given to the place in Talim Island. And last, there is an integration of a real life situation. In this part of the video, we already localized and contextualized our material. After the introduction and motivation, then the next part is the lesson proper, where discussion and giving an example is part of it. See the video presentation.
Let the given function f of x is equal to x plus 3x. And the given value of x is equal to 2. And the equation will be f of 2 is equals to x plus 3x. And the first step is the process of substitution. Substitute 2 into the function in place of x. And it will be 2 plus 3 times 2. Bring down 2 plus the product of 3 times 2, which is 6. And the second step is perform indicated operation. 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Therefore, f of 2 is equal to x plus 3x is equal to 8. And here we go to the second example. Let's consider that f of x is equal to 2x minus 3. And x is equal to negative 3. And the equation will be f of negative 3 is equal to 2x minus 3. Do the process of substitution. Substitute negative 3 into the function in place of x. and it will be 2 times negative 3 minus 3. Get the product of 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6, minus 3, and perform indicated operation. Negative 6 minus 3 is equal to negative 9. Therefore, f of negative 3 is equal to 2x minus 3 is equal to negative 9. And for the third example, let's consider the f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 4. And x is equal to negative 1. And the equation will be f of negative 1 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 4. Do the process of substitution. Substitute negative 1 into the function in place of x, and it will be negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 4. Get the square of negative 1, which is 1, plus the product of 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2 minus 4, and perform indicated operation. 1 minus 2 minus 4, the answer is negative 5. Therefore, f of negative 1 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 4 is equal to negative 5.
That's how the discussion was presented. Introductory discussion can be part first as part of the material. Because with the video presentation, I just show some part of the discussion and example. In the whole video, there are parts that the definition of term is presented, same as unlocking of difficulties and other information needed by the learners before the example and the step-by-step procedure. The video thoroughly explains what is needed to learn by the learners. We can also give real-life situation when given an example in this part of the material. Since the needed information was presented already, then we can now proceed to the generalization or abstraction part, the heart of our lesson. Let us see the presentation on this part.
Ay f of x, and the letters other than small f, such as capital F, small g, capital G, and small h, are often used for function notation. And to evaluate the function notation, first step will be the process of substitution. Second step is perform the indicated operation. And last, simplify.
With generalization, it was just presented by the bloggers. But we can make it as activity by giving enough time to the learners to write first their understanding on the lesson presented. Timer will be helpful in this part before showing the two bloggers explaining the generalization. In other words, we need to make the timer part of the video before the blogger's explanation. Applying the real situation or the practice exercise of the learner will be next. Let us see this part.
Game ka na? Sige, game na!
ngayon, andito na po kami upang interviewin nga ang taong ang hanap buhay ay ang pag-iisip.
So guys, tara na. So hello po.
Ano po?
Pwede po ba namin kayong interview?
O sige, ano bang interview? Kaya ko, okay lang.
Okay, salamat po. So, ilan po yung stick na gagawa niyo po sa isang araw?
Sa isang araw, mga 3,000.
Doon po sa 3,000 na yun, ilang kawayan po ang nagagamit nyo?
Baka isang kawayan yun.
Lubos po bang nakakatulong po yung paggagawa po ng stick?
Nakakatulong din naman. Nakakapambigas, gastusin, ganyan.
Ilan days po kaya bago kayo nakakabenta?
Minsan ay araw-araw pag may dumating na mag-i-stick.
Magkano niyo po ito na ipagbebenta?
65 pesos sa 1,000 stick.
So, maraming salamat po.
Na-interview na nga namin ang isang mag-i-stick at nalaman ang tulong nito para sa kanilang pangangailangan.
At ngayon, gagamitin na natin ang function notation. Tara, subukan natin.
May tanong kami sa inyong lahat. Magdadali lang ng mga tanong. Balikan nyo lang ang inyong natutunan at masasagot nyo na ang tanong na ilaan. May tanong kami sa inyong lahat. Madadali lang ang mga tanong. Balikan nyo lang ang inyong natutunan at masasagot nyo na ang tanong na ilaan.
Ito ba ang sagot nyo? Tama kayo.
In this part, real-life situation which is shown in motivation a while ago were discussed thoroughly. Interviewer part of the video to show the real-life situation and use that in the computation part. The video challenged the learner to answer the given problem with timer so that it will be exciting. At the end of every situation is the illustration of the correct answer so that the learners will know whether they got it correctly. Notice that we added music while computing. And when you listen to the music, the lyrics is encouraging that challenges the learners to be part of the material. Then, we can also add an evaluation like this. With this part, 5 given numbers are being asked to solve. And every number there is a timer, and when timer ended, the next problem will be shown up to the last number. At the end of this evaluation part is the key to correction so that the learners will know their score. We also put closure so that there will be the ending part of this video. See how the video will end.
Ngayon, nalaman na natin ng impormasyon sa bawat anak buhay dito at kung paano ito nakatulong sa kanila.
At syempre, bukod din ay ang bagong natutunan natin dahil sa lesson natin ngayon. Hanggang sa susunod na vlog, paalam!
Ang mga karaniwan palang hanap buhay sa Barangay Bangad at Barangay Buhangin ay pag-iistik, pamasada, at paggawa ng set at pagkakain.
Pero ang pinakapangunahin dito ay ang pagbebenta ng isda.
Oo nga,
At pwede pala itong gamitin sa topic sa math.
tama ka dyan. Katulad nung sa pag-iistik, yun napanood natin sa video.
Oo, tama. Pwede pala yun. At ganun din sa iba pang nasabing hanap buhay.
See how we put concept in the educational video material presented? It started in a class where two students talking about the application and real-life situation of math problem. Ended by using their cell phone about the vloggers that they guided about the lesson presented. At the last part, they summarize what they watched and learned. See how we can use the video material in a class where the learners can still be part of it. And video had impact in teaching and learning process. So let us try to know those different impacts. The first one is a video motivates learners through actual content. Using video has the ability to motivate the students and catch their attention because of the real-life situation presented. Knowing that they learn to teachers talking in front of them, but learning in action by showing the actual situation really get their attention and resulted to positive and teaching learning process. It motivates. The second is video emphasizes digital literacy. Digital literacy is essential to our learners nowadays because they are in the digital year, and remember that they are the 21st century learners, where left and right are part of the technology. It emphasizes digital literacy. The third one, video engage learners. Video has advantages over the actual way of giving an activity like reading text, writing, and listening exercises because nowadays students are attracted to video. Even in a class, we observe that. Even the video is originally made and adapted by the teacher. With the video materials that we will be using, the learners will be engaged. The fourth one, video provides context and visual cues. Unlike reading and listening process, video materials help the learners to understand what's happening around because we show real situation where they are familiar and within the reach. When showing concrete application in a specific context, the video will be appealing and interesting to the learners. It provides context. The next one, or the fourth one, video introduced culture and new information. Video can bring the learners in the world that they are not particular because we show them people, places, culture, and ideas. Real life situation can engage the learner and can make them interested to the lesson. Using video can give information in outside words. The last one is a video provides as a reflective tools to the learners. Video will allow the learners to reflect and respond to the new information shown in the video into their pre-existing knowledge that they know. That are the impact of using a video on teaching and learning process. I hope that you learn from the discussion and you will start thinking and will resulted to create the videos that are educational and within the context and locale of the learners. You can use PowerPoint presentation and convert it as a video materials. Just make it sure that you do it with concept and proper sequence arrangement with creative video editing and voice editing. And last, be sure that the video is engaging. That's all for today. But before I end this webinar, I would like to thank the APA-ET, same as my students who are part of the video materials, to the editor Tristan, to the characters Eman, Sasha, John Paul, and Marvin, and to the local who were interviewed. Lastly, shout out to the GNHS family, teachers, and non-teaching personnel, to the DepEd Rizal family and District of Binangonan family. And I will end this webinar with this quotation. If there's a good story, then it's a good video and people will watch it. And that's according to Stephen Haskin. That's all for today. Thank you very much and God bless us all.